Fabio was a very studious and helpful boy. He was 12 years old, saw the world full of joy. He lived in an area rural, in an interior region. And to go to school, I walked a long way, accompanied by many birds. This is because he always carried fruits and seeds in the backpack to throw to the little birds. One day, on this itinerary, he visualized a spirit of a woman, which radiated a light of great beauty. Beside the spirit of light, there was one little boy with a very sad face. Fabio possessed extrasensorial visions and reacted to the fact as something natural. The spirit told him that soon he would have a brother, and this was someone who lived with him in the distant past, and now he would return to the family bosom. Although the little brother would be born with a visual impairment because of their crimes and faults. And before saying goodbye, the spirit looks at him and then points to a boy beside him and says,
"My dear, you will help your brother, not only in support for him to overcome his limitations, but mainly to truly love you and help you discover your talents."
Upon returning from school, Fabio talked to his parents about the vision and what the spirit had said to him. They were really intrigued, thinking that the son I was psychologically shaken. After a while, the case was forgotten, but more and more ignited her mediumistic gifts. A certain day, he looks at his mother and says very happily,
"Mama, I see a light in your womb."
The mother smiles and says nothing, because she was already used to it, with the oddities of the son. After a month she announces, gleefully, that she is pregnant. And after the months of gestation, a beautiful boy is born. However, to the parents' concern, he had a dazzling glint in his eyes. The years passed, and despite the efforts of the parents to treat him, visual impairment has not been alleviated, and he could only see figures. Fabio dedicated all his time available to Demetrius. He was the brother's eyes, became your teacher and friend of all hours. On the day that Demetrius turned 7, Fabio asked his mother to teach you making a cake for her brother, but that it was all colorful. The satisfied birthday boy, after enjoying a huge piece of cake, questioned,
"Fabio, how are the colors?"
The young man wondered. How could he explain to his brother that he didn't see what the colors were like? Fabio was in his room, going to bed, where he slept next to his brother. However, he felt inspired, took pencil, paper, and wrote a poem in quick letters, as if his hands were guided. And right there, he presents him to his brother.
Red is the color of life energy that runs through our veins and gives us strength and vigor. White represents stillness, the rest. Yellow is the color of sunlight. It is also the energy emanating from the hearts. Blue is the color of the sky, which translates the candor and saturation of love. Pink is the combination of two colors. It is the sum of the red that is life with the white, that is peace. The green is the color of forests, that emanates balance and harmony. Ah, what do you want to know more? The black color? The black, how better to say? It is the morning of souls. But think about it. If you pour white into it, it will gray out. And if you still put blue in it, a shade of lilac will do. The lilac is medicine of strength, for it is resplendent with violet. Yes, the colors are a whirlwind of life, secrets and even quirks. They adorn and often revive. May you always live in yellow, sleep in white and dawns in the blue. May you be strengthened in the lilac, and that when passing through black, put the white on it, for through the gray all pass. But touch the gray with the yellow and it will turn green, and green is hope. Grow more each day in your heart.
Demetrius was touched of emotion for his brother's reading. It looked like he got understand with thought. What were the colors? Even without the ability to see them. That same night, Fabio dreams of his brother. Only he visualized him as a grown man, and he was the jailer of a prison. A scene appears in the dream. Soldiers arrive with prisoners, and they are taken to a very dark dungeon. The soldiers withdraw, and the prisoners ask the jailer, in mercy. At least they had a lamp to lighten the space. The man Fabio identified as his brother, totally cold and indifferent, says,
"Why a lamp? The rats that live here don't need it. Why do you want one?"
Fabio, at that moment, he woke up with a start and couldn't sleep anymore. That dream had left him deeply impressed, for the fact so cruel, involving Demetrius. The next morning, he told the dream to his mother, that she found it all a meaningless nightmare. As she needed spiritual support, he goes to nature and prays to Jesus to ease her heart and to guide him on what he had dreamed of. Then, the same spirit arose from the woman that for some time she had appeared on the road, and who affectionately clarifies.
Fabio, his brother, was someone who in the past made a lot of mistakes due to lack of love, but today is a child who comes to renew himself for a better life.
The boy let the tears roll down through his eyes and replied,
But today, he is just an innocent boy who doesn't remember anything he did. What's the use of suffering without knowing why?
Fabio, God gives us forgetfulness of our past experiences, signifying an intercession of divine love. Imagine, in case your brother remember everything that happened. How would you be, traumatized for your bad attitude? He deserves to have a fresh start, without having the weight of guilt to stop your steps towards progress.
So God did not forgive my brother, because today he has the blindness from punishment for past deeds.
Fabio, the Creator does not punish his children. If we make mistakes, we disrespect the harmony of the universe, and our conscience takes measures so that we clean the impure energy that we accumulate in us, to be purged. Jesus taught us, return evil with good. Everything is governed by the mechanisms of divine laws, who conspire in our favor. God created his children for evolution, and not to destroy them, or punish them whimsically. The laws that govern life are laws of love. These laws will demand account of all talents that have been made available to us.
He still had doubts, but when he was going to continue the dialogue with the spirit, his mother called him, because from afar she saw him gesticulating how to talk to someone, and much she worried. Fabio came to meet his mother, that she asked him what he had seen, to which he replied,
Mommy, these are the usual sights, nothing more. Don't worry. They are spiritual friends who help me.
From that day on, Fabio became a regular reader of the works of Allan Kardec. He wanted to understand what happened to him, and also understand the whys of life. Through prayer, he was in tune with the spirit world, and good guidance always came to him. In a beautiful day, a light came on in his mind. He noticed that Demetrius liked music. Therefore, next week, precisely on a Monday, he made an appointment for his brother to learn guitar. However, Demetrius gets excited and says,
I don't want to learn anything. I'm blind. That's impossible for me.
Happily, Fabio knew how to deal with his brother, and said they would learn together. One would help the other. Finally, after much discussion, he managed to convince him. The brothers, when they arrived at the music school, got a surprise. The teacher also had a visual limitation. She was a very nice young lady. She loved teaching chords on the guitar. Then, henceforth Demetrius became one of the best students of Professor Scylla. And more, she noticed another talent in him. He had a beautiful voice. Fabio composed songs that came very clearly in your mind, and Demetrius interpreted them wonderfully, in voice and guitar. They became partners in such a beautiful profession, being requested to play even in distant locations, demonstrating to the public the importance of art in people's lives. Everything was going well, until one morning, Demetrius woke up scared, and as always, Fabio was close by to help him.
What was my brother? Are you feeling bad?
No, Fabio. I had a horrible nightmare.
Like this?
I dreamed you kept prisoners in a dungeon and treated them very badly. I had a heart as hard as a rock. until he got to jail, a new prisoner. He was very hurt, moaned and sobbed, saying he was innocent. Your lamentations seemed to echo inside my mind. I approached with a lamp, and I took pity on his suffering state. I tried to repel the good feelings from me, but no matter how hard I tried, couldn't. So I treated man humanely, caring carefully for your wounds, and giving him water and food. Still, to my disappointment, after a few days, on a cold night, he got worse and died. In the dream, the boy was like you, my brother, and you died, without anything else I could do.
That moment, Demetrius was thrilled, and tears ran down his face. Upon realizing his brother's emotional state, Fabio tells him fondly,
Demetrius, take it easy. I'm here with you, and I'm not arrested, and much less, I died. My brother, today we are united by blood ties. But this did not always happen.
I don't understand. How so?
From what I've read in Allan Kardec's Book of Spirits, reincarnation is a cycle of experiences that we all go through on the path of evolution. It alone explains the fact that a child born with problems, like blindness or other illnesses, that manifest since childhood. Jesus told us, to each according to his works. If we do good, we reap good fortune, but if we do evil, we reap bitterness and suffering.
But I failed, because in the dream, I couldn't save it.
Demetrius, what was importante is that in your heart and heart, a feeling of love and compassion arose, and that made him worthy of new opportunities. Charity is the bridge that unites us to God. Remember, if good leads us to happiness, while evil imprisons us, and later we will have the readjustment phase. This doesn't just happen to you, but with all of us. We are still imperfect travelers in time. In our comings and goings, we keep getting better. Take advantage of today as a redeeming opportunity. Work on your moral spiritual improvement. And one day, you will say, worth it.